Hello, chocolate friends. Carla here with Opening Chocolate. Last October, I shared the story of an assassination plot with chocolate. You can watch that one here. This week, since we're very close to Halloween again, I thought I would share another apropos story for the season. It involves passion, secrecy, scandal, murder, and yes, of course, it involves chocolate. It's the story of Madeleine Smith, the hot chocolate killer. It all starts in Glasgow in the late 19th century. Madeleine Hamilton Smith was born on the 29th of March, 1835, into a wealthy Glasgow family. Her father, James Smith, was a prominent architect, and her mother was the daughter of an architect. This meant that they were of an upper social class at the time. Madeleine was the first of 5 children. She was well educated for a woman in Victorian England. In early 1855, at about age 20, and breaking with Victorian conventions, Madeleine began a clandestine affair with Pierre-Emile L'Angelier. He was about 10 years her senior. Emile was originally from the Channel Islands and was working as a packing clerk in Glasgow. Because of their different social statuses, the affair was a secret. They met at night at her house, out the window, in the garden, or in the laundry. Sometimes they would meet during the day at the neighborhood shops. They also exchanged a copious amount of passionate letters, and this will be an important thing to remember. At one point, Madeleine's father caught Emile loitering around the house and demanded an end to the relationship. But the opposite occurred. They continued to meet in secret at a mutual friend's house. Eventually, it became scandalously physical, as evidenced in their letters. In fact, they believed themselves to be as good as married, even though they knew that was impossible. Madeleine's father, thinking he had scared off Emile, arranged a more suitable fiancé for her, a young man named William Harper Minnick, who was a young merchant. By February 1857, Madeleine, for unknown reasons, accepted the proposal and attempted to break off the relationship with Emile. She asked him to return her letters. This is from a letter she wrote to Emile, some excerpts. Quote, "Altogether, I think, owing to the coolness and indifference, nothing else, that we had better for the future consider ourselves as strangers. I trust your honor as a gentleman that you will not reveal anything that may have passed between us. I shall feel obliged by you bringing me my letters and likeness on Thursday evening at 7. And later, P.S. You may be astonished at this sudden change, but for some time back you must have noticed a coolness in my notes. My love for you has ceased. I did once love you truly, fondly, but for some time back I have lost much of that love." Close quote. Emile did not take this well. Not well at all. He refused to leave and refused to give back her letters. Instead, he began threatening to expose them and to take the letters to her father, which would have ruined her socially. So, she kept the secret relationship going as she had seemingly no other option. They continued to meet in secret. Often during their meetings, she would prepare a hot chocolate for them to share as they sat together. Emile kept a diary of all their secret meetings, and on several nights after meeting with Madeleine, he came home feeling sick and with stomach pains. On March 22nd, 1857, Emile's landlady observed him coming home through the door, clutching his stomach in agony. She called the doctor for him, and the doctor prescribed opium water, or laudanum. The landlady heard him struggle with pain for a few more hours, and then it went quiet, and she assumed he fell asleep. The next day, when the doctor returned mid-morning to check on Emile, he ran into the landlady and inquired how he was doing. She said he seemed to have improved as he fell asleep sometime in the night. In fact, as the doctor soon discovered, Emile had gotten much worse. Emile Langelier was dead. After his death, police searched his lodgings and found numerous letters from Madeleine. The coroner also found huge amounts of arsenic in Emile's stomach. While that is a poison, it was a common household good at the time, being used as a rat poison and even in women's cosmetics as a skin brightener. Madeleine had fled or gone up to her family's summer house. 8 days after Emile's death, she was arrested. When they searched her belongings, they found evidence of arsenic purchases. Madeleine allegedly served Emile hot chocolate laced with arsenic. The Edinburgh News article explains, the indictment charged Miss Smith with having issued arsenic to her lover on several occasions between 22 February and 22 March. He had unwittingly ingested the deadly poison in spiked cups of cocoa, which Madeleine had allegedly served him from her own home. Close quote. Madeleine's social status quickly made this a trial for tabloid fodder. The fact that chocolate was involved made the case even more sensational. The notion that the sweet young lady would serve her lover poison in such an innocuous and domestic drink such as cocoa and kill him. Chocolate was not just a drink, but a part of the murder weapon itself. The trial of Madeleine Smith took place at the High Court in Edinburgh in the summer of 1857. Her defense argued that the evidence was only circumstantial. The chemist from whom she was seen purchasing arsenic testified their arsenic was colored. They did this to prevent accidents, and the autopsy didn't find that coloring. Emile's valet testified Emile had considered suicide. Thus, the defense argued that the death might have been suicide. The letters Madeleine and Emile exchanged played a prominent role in the trial. Not only were they shocking to the Victorian audience as they read out endearments like, "My own darling Emile," publicly, but one of them, with an unclear postmark, seemed to confuse the timeline, indicating that just the night before his death, she wrote affectionate content. For the prosecution, the letters proved motive and intimacy, but for the defense, the ambiguous timeline provided reasonable doubt. Ultimately, the court came back with a verdict. On the first count of administration of poison, the jury returned not guilty. On the murder charge, the verdict was not proven. This is a verdict unique to Scottish law. The not proven verdict meant that while guilt was not established beyond a reasonable doubt, the jury stopped short of saying the defendant was innocent. It left public debate open. Despite being freed, the scandal ruined her family's standing. They left their Glasgow home, and Madeleine's father died in reduced circumstances. In 1861, she married artist George Wardle. Later, after separating, she emigrated to the United States and remarried in 1916. Madeleine Smith died in April 1928 in New York under the name Lena Sheehy. The case has fascinated historians and criminologists. Modern consensus tends towards the belief that she did commit the murder, but escaped convictions because of technicalities. And it all happened over a few cups of hot chocolate. So that's my spooky tale for this Halloween involving chocolate. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a curious thing to read about, and if I've left some sources in the comments that you may read further if you're interested. That's all for this week, and I hope you join me next week as we talk about all things chocolate. We'll see you then.